Welcome back to another chilling episode of Into the Depths of Mystery. Today's tale isn't just another urban legend. It is a first-hand account of a terrifying encounter that happened to someone I know personally, a friend of mine who was studying in Romania at the time, claims to have come face to face with something truly unexplainable, something eerily similar to the infamous Serbian Dancing Lady. If you've seen the viral videos or read the headlines, you'll know this isn't your typical ghost story. This is something darker, something that leaves people changed. So turn down the lights, put on your headphones, and get ready, because what you're about to hear may change the way you see those viral videos forever. It all began around 3 years ago when my friend was pursuing his university degree in Romania. He lived off campus in a rented house not too far from the university. The house was shared with 4 other students, which made it a lively place, but not ideal for studying because of the noise and constant activity. He often stayed late at the university library, especially during exams. The library was quiet, warm, and well lit, a stark contrast to the eerie Romanian winter nights outside. The streets at night were always cold and dim, but nothing seemed particularly dangerous. That is, until one evening changed everything. It was early spring, cold enough to see your breath, but not quite freezing. That night, my friend stayed at the university until around 1 a.m. His usual study buddy had gone off to visit someone in the hostel, so he was left alone. Feeling tired but confident, he decided to walk home. It was a 30-minute walk through a familiar route that included passing through a large public park. Even during the daytime, the park had an unsettling aura. Massive trees, narrow gravel paths, old benches, and rusty street lamps that barely worked. At night, it transformed into something almost haunted, but being used to it, he brushed aside his discomfort and popped in his earphones. Music on, hood up, he began the journey home. The moon hung low, shrouded in drifting clouds. The park was completely empty, save for the occasional gust of wind rustling the bare tree branches. Halfway through the park, that's when it happened. As he walked along the cracked pathway, he noticed something strange in the distance. Under one of the flickering streetlights stood a figure, moving. At first, it seemed like someone was just swaying, maybe dancing or staggering, likely drunk. Curious but cautious, he slowed his pace and removed one earphone. What he saw sent a chill down his spine. A woman was dancing under the light. Not just any dance. This was repetitive, robotic, unnatural. Her arms were stretched wide and flailed rhythmically in sync with the same repetitive steps, over and over again, as if caught in an endless loop. Her silhouette was striking, long skirt, traditional Romanian style blouse, and a headscarf. She looked like she had stepped out of another century, and yet something was off. He couldn't see her face, and no matter how hard he tried, his eyes wouldn't adjust to make out her features. That's when he realized she wasn't alone. A few meters away from the dancing woman stood another figure, even more terrifying. This second figure was cloaked in darkness, almost blending in with the night, but two features stood out like glowing embers. Its eyes, deep red, shining unnaturally, like twin rubies burning in the dark. He could just barely make out the shape. Tall, humanoid, but something was deeply wrong. Horns protruded from its head, curving slightly backward. It didn't move, didn't blink, just stood there watching the woman dance, like a puppet master watching his marionette. The woman danced with her arms stretched wide, mimicking the black figure. They moved in sync, as if caught in some kind of trance, locked in a ritual he couldn't comprehend. My friend wanted to run, but he couldn't. His legs refused to move. His eyes were locked on the two figures. A strange sensation crept over him, like a fog inside his mind. The world around him faded. The trees, the path, the cold night air, it all disappeared. All he could see was the woman dancing and the red-eyed figure. It felt like he was falling without moving. He couldn't explain it. It was like being sucked into another realm, hypnotized by something ancient, something evil, then blackness. The next thing he remembers is someone shaking his body, yelling his name. He opened his eyes. He was still in the park, but something had changed. He was no longer on the pathway. He was now standing directly under the streetlight, the same one where the woman had been dancing. His clothes were drenched in sweat. His limbs ached. His feet were covered in dust. The music had stopped, and his phone battery was dead. Around him were his roommates, visibly panicked and out of breath. They looked at him as if he had just risen from the grave. He looked at his watch. It was 3:30 a.m. 2.5 hours had passed, and he had no memory of what happened. Back at home, after drinking some water and catching his breath, he asked his friends what had happened. Their answer made his blood run cold. They told him that after he didn't return, they got worried and began searching. They contacted his study partner, who confirmed that he had left the university hours ago. After checking the university and the hostel, they retraced the usual walking route. That's when they saw him in the middle of the park, under a streetlight, dancing, not just dancing, but moving in the exact same way he had described the woman earlier. Arms outstretched, same steps, same rhythm, eyes wide open, unblinking. They called out to him, but he didn't respond, only when they physically grabbed and shook him. Then he finally stopped dancing. He blinked, looked at them with a dazed expression, and collapsed. He was completely unaware of what had happened. When he told his friends what he saw, one of them mentioned a viral video they had seen just weeks ago. The Serbian Dancing Lady. According to the legend, a woman dressed in traditional Serbian or Balkan clothing appears late at night, dancing alone in deserted places. Sometimes she holds a knife. Sometimes she's reportedly followed or watched by a demonic figure. The most terrifying part If you interrupt her dance, she'll attack. Many online posts describe her vanishing when approached. Others say she becomes violent if disturbed. Some even claim she dances to appease a dark force, or is cursed to repeat a ritual for eternity. What my friend saw matched every element except, in his case, he joined the dance. To this day, my friend has no explanation for what happened. He doesn't know how he got from the path to the streetlight. He doesn't know what he was doing for those 2.5 hours. And most importantly, he doesn't know why he danced. He hasn't walked through that park since. In fact, he moved out of the area soon after the incident. He says he sometimes has dreams of dancing, always under a dim streetlight, always being watched. He believes that if his friends hadn't found him when they did, he might never have come back. Maybe he would have danced until dawn. Skeptics may call it a hallucination, or worse, until someone took his place. Sleepwalking, or exhaustion-induced dissociation. But my friend insists what he saw wasn't human. Whether it was the Serbian Dancing Lady, a cursed spirit, or something else entirely, one thing is certain. Something supernatural happened in that park, and he wasn't just a witness, he was part of it. Maybe the legend is more than just a viral video. Maybe it's an ancient curse, an entity that dances through generations, claiming victims one by one. What do you think? Was this a paranormal encounter, or a psychological episode triggered by the legend itself? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe the channel for more terrifying true encounters and horror stories.